Let me know. Yeah, good evening. Today we continue on our study on Geodatabase tutorial, and for a quick recap of what we have done last week, we have been able to look at how to organize our data in our catalog. That's exercise 1 last week. Then we look at how to import data into our Geodatabase. So, as a recap, last week we talked about connecting our folder into our catalog, and we use this button, connect to a folder, to connect to the folder where our Geodatabase is. And in this case, we are using file Geodatabase. Also, another thing I forget to tell us last week is that we can disconnect from any folder in case we don't need it again. Like this now, if I want to disconnect from here, I can say disconnect folder, and it will take away this data that I have presently. Also, that we talk about how to import data into our Geodatabase. We try 2 importation. We do a special importation using the lateral data that we have. This lateral data, we try to import it into the Geodatabase. Also, we import a non-spatial data, that is the owner's data. We try to import them also into the Geodatabase. And if you look at my Geodatabase now, they contain all this data. This is the owner data inside your database, and you can see the preview. Then, underwater feature, we have the lateral, which is part of the thing imported last week. So, this week, by God's grace, we'll be talking about creating subtype and attribute domain. And if time permits us also, we go to creating relationship between objects. So I want to take this thing gradually so that we will understand what is going on. So let me go to exercise 3, which is creating subtype and attribute domain. One advantage of strong data in your database is that one can define some rules about how the data can be edited. You know, when you want to edit your data, if you don't define some rule properly, you will be doing a lot of manual work in editing such a data. So you will have to define some rule by creating a new attribute domain. Now, for this case study, we'll be creating a new attribute domain for our lateral data. That's for our water network. Then we'll be creating subtype also for the lateral feature class. And also we'll be associating the new domain, the existing domain, and default value with feed for each subtype. We will understand this thing better when we go into the practical. So, attribute domain are rules that describe the legal value of the feed type So in each field in our database, the proper value, we want to ensure that we have the proper value in all our field. Like take for example this ownership field. We want to ensure that we want to have a proper value. We don't want to have an erroneous value. You know, at times when people go to site, they mistakenly type some data that that is not really valid, that is not legally valid for our database. So, but with this rule will ensure that we don't have a wrong data in any of the fields in our database. So now let's look at example of this water network, which in this case we call it literal. So in a water network, suppose that only hydrant water literal can have a pressure between 40 and 100 psi, while service water literal can have a pressure between 50 and 75. Now, it will be wrong for for our database to have for service water literal. I hope you understand what I mean by service water literal. That is maybe the water pipe carrying water to each of the parcel to have pressure that is greater than 75 or lesser than 50. So if somebody come into this field and he just enter 90, we should know that it's an erroneous value. So our database should be able to complain because of the rule we are going to set today. So the same thing with hydrant water. That one can have up to 40 to 100 psi. So we should note this. The rule that we want to set by creating a domain, subtype, attribute domain is to ensure that we don't have erroneous data in our database, and also to make our editing easy, because when we are editing or digitizing, we do a lot of match, a lot of split. So when we split any data, it go to the right field that is supposed to occupy. So that's the advantage of creating a subtype and attribute domain. So now the first thing to do to accomplish this aim is to right click on our database. We right click on this database. So and go to property. So under the property, that's where we'll be working. You will see if you are just opening your own, it may come out with general. So there are two tabs here, general and domain. So where we'll be working is under domain. So the second step is to click the domain tab as highlighted in our manual. And the third step is click the first empty field under the domain name. The first empty field under the domain name. If you scroll down, this is the first empty field under the domain name. Then and type, we are to type lat diameter, that is lateral diameter, the diameter of our pipes. So I will copy this and put it here, lat diameter. Then under the description, we will now put valid diameter for water literal. Copy that, put it under description. So now the next steps, which is step number 4, so coming. Now, the next step is to click the feed type. Now, this is the feed type. To view a drop-down list and click float for the feed type for this domain. Now, for this domain, the feed type, that is the type of data I will be expecting for my lat diameter, is float. So I will click on this drop down. Initially by default is long integer, but I will click on it and select float. So I have to select my data type for this domain name, which is lat diameter. So that's the next the next steps. Now, the fifth step, as you can see, is to select under the domain property, under the domain type, we are to select a coded value, because we have a value, we are customizing our value for each diameter. By the time we start inputting those values now, you will see. So we cannot use range. Range doesn't fit this diameter now, but coded value. So I will choose coded value. Now, for the sixth step, under the merge policy, I will leave the merge policy as default value. So merge policy is, maybe you are bringing a new set of data into your database and you want to merge it with your literal network. Maybe you are collecting new data from site. By the time you are merging it, the policy that merging process has to obey must be a default value policy. So this policy is worked on when we are merging two data together. So now the seventh step is to start entering our code for this lat diameter. So the first code for us, we have pipe that are 13 inches, and the description for that will be 13 inch. Then we have other ones. Let me scroll to other value. Coming. Yes, we have other value which we are going to enter. We have entered 13. We have 10, which is 10 inches. Then we have 8, which is 8 inches. Then we have 6, which is 6 inches. We have 4, which is 4 inches. Then we have 3, which is 3 inches. We have 2.3, 2.25, 2.25. Don't forget we divide it as float, so it will take it, which is 21. Oh, sorry, 2.25 inch by description. Then we have 2, which is 2 inch. Then we have 1.5, which is 1 1.25 inches. Then we have 1.25, which is, oh sorry, this one is 1.5. Then we have 1.25 inches. Then we have 1, which is 1 inches. 1 inches. Then we have 0.75, and that is 3/4 inches. And finally, we have -9, which is, that means any unknown diameter, it will automatically give it -9, which is unknown. So, as on that, the next step is we can click OK. Click OK to add the domain to your database. So I click OK, then the domain gets added to my database. Now, the next task is to create subtype and associating default value and domain. So we are going to create subtype, then we will associate default value and domain. Now you will create, by creating subtype, not all water literal feature need to have the same default value, and as you will see later in this tutorial, connectivity rule will apply to all of them based on the rules we want to set now. Now, we start this by right-clicking on the literal feature class and click property. So we just go to our database. We ensure that we are inside our database, which is this. I use this icon to check it up and check it down. So this is our database. Underwater, that's where our literal data is. You can see the preview of it. So we right-click on this and go to property. Now, under property, we are going to go to subtype. Under property, we click subtype tab. As you can see, we have different tabs, but the one we are concerned about in the defining subtype is this subtype tab. So now, after clicking the subtype, we go to type code. So we click the subtype field and drop down arrow and click type code. So under this subtype field, by default is saying no. So we click this drop down arrow and we go down and click type code. So immediately we click type code. The next thing, which is to start entering our code, and the first code is the 0, which we are going to give an unknown to. So that means any literal network that we don't know the type, it will be giving 0 code automatically, and 0 code means unknown. So now, once that is done, we will be going to hconfig under the default value and domain. Let me show you that process. That's right up on that. See, we are done with step 4. Keep the description field next to type code 0 and type unknown. So we have done that. Then 5, say click the default value field next to hconfig. So that's where we are going. That's horizontal config. Then we will give it a 0 by default for the default value. Then we will do the same thing with the depth of the bury, that is the depth at which the pipe is buried. We get that one by scrolling down. Bury depth will be also 0. Then we do that to recorded length also. Give it 0. Then for the WNM type and the PWT type feed, we will give it WA unknown by their default. By default. So we scroll down. That one is done. So we give them this value as default value. So and the PM tag. So now step 6. Now for step 6 now, say click the default value next to diameter. So we want to specify diameter also, which is diameter, diameter, this diameter. So we give it type 8. Then click the domain drop down list and click. So we under this diameter, giving it 8, then we tell our database that it belongs to this domain, large diameter. I hope we remember our large diameter that we defined in the previous task. That's the task before this one. So we select that. Then to set it as this field attribute domain for the unknown subtype. So that's step 6. Step 7. Repeat step 6 for material feed also. So we go to material feed. It's done. Material feed. Material. Okay, this material feed. So we do the same thing for material feed, but its own type, its own default value is DI. Now, for the domain, we click material. So you see how we are dividing our rule now. Now, the 8 steps. The next step now is to add the following subtype and set the default value and domain the same as the unknown subtype, except for WNM type and PW type feed default value. So we have to add the following subtype and set the default value and the domain the same as for the unknown subtype, except for, let me see. So we go to under this place, we have one. That will be the hydrant literal. I think I list it somewhere for us to see it.
We will soon be log out. When we're log out, we will log in again. Thank you.
Okay. So one is hydrant literal. I think lateral. Then two, the support. Anytime we see one, it will be hydrant literal. Two will be fire literal. That's those pipes that carry water that can, if there is any fire incident, that will be fire lateral. Then the third one will be service lateral. Service. All right. Service lateral. Laterals. Sorry. S laterals. Then this one is small letter laterals. So that's for the step 8. We have 5 minutes left. Now, so what we just did now, anytime we are adding new feature to our feature class, we subtype in the app map editing environment. If you don't specify a particular subtype, the new feature will be assigned the default subtype. So once you have added all the subtype for this feature class, you can set the default subtype from those you enter. So I think we understand that statement very well. Any feature we are adding to our feature class that we don't specify the type, database will automatically give it a default value, and the default value are the value that we have set earlier. So now this next step is that we have to click the default subtype drop down arrow and click service literal. We select service literal. So that's the next steps. Then the next is to click OK to accept our rule. Oh, fail to update default value. Default value is invalid within the domain. Name, literal, subtype code, course feed, course diameter. We are having an error here. I think we have to resolve it. Become property. Yeah, we are having error. I think under material, so we take out back. Under material, we have TI, and the domain is material. Then comment. Under diameter, everything is 0. Diameter is 0. Depth bearing is 0. Then recorded length is 0. Okay, I think I didn't save their domain. Then diameter. This. I don't think I set anything for this. Sorry for the error. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, we are with you.
Okay. I'm having a small challenge here. I don't know where I made mistake when entering the status. So
There's no problem. Just take your time to
then click the
sort it
domain
out,
drop down list. I want to check, I want to back check those things I've done. Then say do the same for this. Okay. Yes. The document. Let me cross check from step 1. Let me take my time to cross check from step 1. Okay. Property. Then from property, you have to click subtype. Then the third step, type code, which is selected already. Then fourth, we have 0 for unknown, and we define for each config 0. Then click the description field next to type 0. Type the unknown description. Okay. Then click the default value field next to each config and type 0 for its default value. Do the same for depth and recorded length. Okay. Depth 0, recorded length 0. For WNM type, PW type feed, type as the default value. Then sys click the default value feed next to diameter and type 8 for the default value. diameter, eight. That's what I do. Then for the default, then click the domain drop down list and click this to set its default value. Okay. Set this attribute. Then click the domain drop down list and click lat diameter to set it as this feed attribute domain for the unknown subtype. Okay. Then 7, repeat step 6 for material feed. Type DI for the default value and click material feed. Material. Now for the domain it will be material. Then add the following subtype and set the default value and domain the same as for the unknown subtype. Okay, I think that's where. Yes. Okay. Fire, literal, hydrant, literal, service, literal. Okay. 8. Then 9. Click the default subtype drop-down arrow and click service literal to set it as the default subtype. Service literal. It's already set. Then click OK. Oh, thank God. So I think it's now set. So we can continue. I don't know. So we have successfully added a behavior to the Geodatabase by adding domain and creating subtype. So we should just ensure that we are typing correct thing. I don't know where I even make mistake, but I try to. I think he has taken it now before it's giving error. So now, you will add some additional behavior to your database by creating relationship. So creating relationship is our next task now. Can we continue? Hello, I want feedback.
Yes, please. I think we can continue.
Okay. So we go to exercise 4. In the second exercise that we do, we import info table. As if we can remember very well, that's the owner table. So that table contains the owner's details. We import it into our Montgomery's Geodatabase. So the Geodatabase already has a feature class called Parcel. We look at this land base. You can see Parcel. These are Parcel. We have 2 types of it. We have residential and non-residential. So that's why it's having 2 different colors. So you will now create a relationship. Now the relationship class, we have to create a relationship class between the parcel and the owner, so that when you use the data in AppMap, you can easily find out which owner owned which parcel. So the goal for this exercise is simple. We want to attach each parcel to its owner. So the first thing we are going to do is to right click the land-based feature data set and point to new, then click relationship class. So this is how to create relationship class. We'll right click on this land base, as we can see, this land base. Then we go to new, then we go to what? Relationship class. Then it will give us relationship class dialog, as we can see here. So the steps are well highlighted in the manual. Now the second one, say type parcel owner as the name of this relationship class. So the name, we give this relationship class a name. It's just like writing program and you have a class, you give it a name so that you can call the class at any time. So I will just copy here. I think where I make mistake before is throwing copy and pasting. Then I put space somewhere. So parcel owners, that's the name. Now the third step, which is click owner for the origin table. So the origin table that we want to link is this owner. So we have to click owner for the origin table. Then 4, double click land base and click parcel. Are we saying? No, why is it appearing like this? Okay. Now I'll double click, then I will click parcel. Now why I'm doing that is to stir the database. You have to link this thing to a parcel and not block, and not row center, and not row edges, but parcel. So that's what that step is all about. Then the next step is to click next, and it will bring out this dialog box. Now you must now specify the path label and the message notification direction. The forward path label describes the relationship as it is navigated from the origin class to the destination class. In this case, from owner to parcel. The backward path label describe the relationship when navigated in the other direction, from parcel to owner. So we have to select the type of relationship that this relationship class will store. So from the look of things, which one are we going to select? Hello? We can have a, sorry, I'm coming. I want to say, although they select simple, although for this, let's select simple relationship, but most times we can have an owner that have more than one parcel. So it can be as many. Then we can have like two owners having only one parcel. That's why we have their percentage ownership. That's sorry, percent ownership. Some may have 50%, 50% of the parcel. But in this case, we are selecting simple peer-to-peer relationship. So next. Now, we are to specify a label for the relationship as it is transferred from the origin, that is, from the table to feature class to the destination table of feature class. So we leave it as parcel, just as specified in our okay. For the relationship when navigate parcel to owner. So for forward origin to destination. Now type 6. Type own for the forward part. Own. S. Then for the backward part is owned by, is owned by. That's for step 6. Then step 7. Say click one to many. We can still remember our relational database. Click one to many to specify that one owner may own many parcels. So, one to many. So that's the cardinality. Then 8. So we click next. After clicking this, click next. Then you must now specify whether your new relationship class will have attributes. In this example, the parcel owner relationship class does not require attributes, which is the default. So step 8. The next step is to specify the primary key. So what will be the primary key? Which is the primary key will be the property ID. Then select the foreign key field in the destination table and feature. I hope we all understand what primary and foreign key is. And that one will be property ID. That will be the foreign key. Then we are now in step 11. Then click next. So this is a summary of the relationship class. We can cross-check. In case we make any mistake, we can go back and correct. So from here, the class name is parcel owner. The origin base class is owner. Destination object class is parcel. Then the relationship type is simple one. Then the forward is own. Backward part is owned by. Then the message propagation, no message propagated. Then cardinality, one to many. Then as attribute, no. Then primary key is our property ID. Then the foreign key is the property ID. Finish. So we have successfully create a relationship between our non-spatial data, which is the owner's table, with our spatial data, which is the parcel data. So you have now added a second kind of behavior to our database. Next, you will need to continue to add behavior to the geodatabase by creating a geometric network and defining connectivity rules. So that will be the next step. Can we move forward? Building a geometric network. Hello? Hello?
Hello. How long will that take? Because it's like we don't have much time, and this is past 10 already. What do we say? Or should we continue? Let me unmute everyone. What do we say?
Sorry, are we through with the relationship?
Yes.
Creating relationship class.
Yes.
Sorry, I will suggest we stop here.
Yeah.
For two different reasons, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, the first one is that we discussed that from the discussion we are going to be stopping by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Unless we continue with a particular step. But we're about to start another one now.
Yeah.
And another thing is this geodatabase of a thing looks complex a little bit. That ones need to go through it very well. So that's my own suggestion.
Okay.
Though I'm
But
having
before we go,
I
the
want
class.
everybody to.
Hello.
I want others to say something on it.
Sorry.
I said
Yeah.
I'm having a question, but I want others to say if they have anything to say.
Hello,
Okay.
good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, I was trying to ask, like this stuff like adding the details of the owner to a parcel. Is
Okay.
there a way that, okay, let's say the owner, there's a name, maybe the plot size and everything. If you select maybe a particular parcel, it will give you those details. Like in AutoCAD, once you have something like that, you can go to list and it will list the plot size, the perimeter and everything. I don't know if it works like that here in ArcGIS.
Yeah, it works even much more than the AutoCAD. You know, AutoCAD, you cannot link the name. AutoCAD, okay, though it's been a while I use AutoCAD. You know, AutoCAD primary is not a GIS software. It's just a CAD because you cannot really have attribute data per se, just when you list, tell you the area. But unlike this one, you can add as many things, the land use type, just like the shape file. If you have been following the other introduction we did,
Yes,
you'll
yes.
see you can have up to 50 attributes like on a plot. If you want to even do it, you will know if it was solved before, the C of O number, the land use, the purpose, if it is a land that has been developed, even the number of rooms, the bedroom type, and there's a way that you can even hot link it with the picture of the land. I think Polari also. So it is a comprehensive data. There's more than, or unlike the AutoCAD, because AutoCAD is not really a GIS software, it's just CAD. I don't know if that answers your question. And I think he will get to that where you will do query, ask questions. Yeah, if you want to ask, okay, you can ask now, okay, I want to know parcel of land that are 200 square meter that are built of, where you can combine like 3 query, and it will bring out those plots for you that meet your criteria. Yeah, but Paul, I want to say something, so you can add.
Yes. You can customize your query. That's why in database we have different view. You create
Okay.
different view for your database. So
Okay.
you can have a view that you want to know all the areas of all parcel
Okay.
in your database. You can create a view, and that what I mean by view, you customize what you want your user to see. Because remember that
Okay.
most of your users are not GIS based person. So you must be
Okay.
able to design your application in such a way that somebody who doesn't understand GIS will be able to query your application and get information from it. So it can do more than what AutoCAD can do, although some AutoCAD are now existing that have GIS capability. But still, GIS is still more versatile than AutoCAD. So you can do much more than that. And you can customize it the way you want. You can write your own program that will even give you more view of your data. So another thing I want to say, the parcel owner that we created, you see it's appearing now in our database. This parcel class, parcel owner
Yes.
class.
Can
So
you like
you see,
open the attribute of that parcel? Can you open it? Let us see it. You have a view of it.
this is a class. It doesn't have
Yeah, look at the
attributes.
property. Okay, now if you now open the parcel, it should have this attribute of that owner. So open the parcel. Can you view the attributes of the
Until we load it.
loaded? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I think maybe when we get there by next week. So to add to what Bola say, GIS is not like a one-way stop. Anything that you can visualize, it is possible for you to represent it in GIS. Do you get it now?
Okay.
It's not like AutoCAD that is
Yeah, I
one
get
way.
it.
No, you can do it and that is why if those that I taught GIS, there are about in programming you have about 3 steps, right? If I'm not forgetting, that is the conceptualization, design, and so it goes
Yeah.
similar. So anything it depends on how you want to represent your database and what the purpose is. So and you can add a lot of things. Like if the census now you want to know how many people are in a house, you can add that to your database.
Okay.
So you can add the same. One thing with GI is like the data is that you can modify the same data for diverse applications. So you can do a lot of
Okay.
things with it. If it is for tax now, collection of tax, they can add the value of each property. So if they want to collect what they call the estate people, based on the value of the property, they will collect annual tax on it. Property rate, is it property rate? So you can use that same database for taxes. Is that okay? If it is for census,
Yeah.
if you have an understanding on the number of people, that is the average number of people in each house, like in the north, maybe, okay, you can say an average northerner has 4 wives. So you have like 20 people average in the house, and you have 20 buildings, you can estimate the population in the house or in those areas. Is that okay? So you can do a lot of things with it. It all depends on you.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
I will
question,
All
please.
right.
I will also suggest
A
that we
question.
stay
Okay,
here, but we can entertain questions.
okay, sir. I'm having a question.
Okay.
Yes, from what I'm seeing here, sir, I think if once enter the attribute table and input all this information, I want to confirm if there is anything that make this particular method to supersede you entering the attribute data and input all this information
Okay. You mean
instead of using
manually,
the
right?
app catalog
Manually,
exactly.
Okay.
yes.
Okay. One, because of time, we have like the one we did. You cannot combine. We have 3 major type of data: point, line, and polygon.
Yes.
A shapefile for point cannot accept line data. Do you get it? But your
Yes.
database brings
Okay.
everything. It's like a pot where you have meat and some other things in one place. So you just play around with them. So they are geodatabase. So that is the folder that incorporates everything. Yeah, each of them are layer, but they are linked. Do you like understand?
Yes. I
So
get
those
it.
one are just single shape file. It is still the same shape file that have been incorporated into the database to give you a more robust database to enable to do analysis. Unlike the one that you have to bring one and with this one you can easily, it's just like map of Nigeria. If you have it there, then you have COVID-19 data coming in. You update it because you cannot say because you have this database, you are not going to have other attributes to be added later. Is that clear now?
Yes, I get it. And I'm having a suggestion.
Okay.
I think it will be better enough if we can be seeing the final output of where we are going before we start the illustration, because it will give us a heads up, like, okay, we know where we are heading to. Anything that the tutor, the man that is taking the tutorial is trying to click or so, we'll be attaching it to what we've seen. Like he created something the other time, the summary of the relationship class.
Okay.
I don't know if he's having it before, and he will have just show us from the beginning of the maybe that sub topic, the creation of a relationship class. If we see it, then it starts during the illustration. Then we know exactly where we are heading to. Because from me, actually, I'm just trying to follow up. I don't really know exactly where we are heading to.
Okay, like a summary. Okay, but were you in the first training, the one we did last week?
The first training, actually, I logged in late because I was unable to. I had to update my Zoom.
Okay,
And I was
you
not,
know what you do when you
yes.
have training that you are building on each other, especially database. You need to understand the first one first.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think with video, so you cannot really catch it up at the end, at the middle, unless you are familiar with it. But because database is quite not new, many people like me, I don't really use it since most of my data are with my shape file. But there could be a time that you need everything to be in one place to have like integrated data. So maybe you do that. If you have difficulty, you can always chat us up, and I believe that someone will be ready to like help you out. So try to download the other video.
You can also watch the other video.
Okay, I do that.
Yeah. And you see, there is a lot of way of solving problem, but there are also some best practices. So when you have a database, it has a lot of advantage, because now by this database now, any enterprise can use it. Water is separated from the land base. So assuming you are mapping a place like Lagos State and you want to create a GIS center for GIS data.
You have to be fast. We will soon be logged out.
Okay. Or GIS what do I even call it? EGIS for all your mapping. You have to create a very wonderful database, and that's where this database of the thing comes in. So, and it enable you to that database can be integrated into any department, any enterprise. So that's why the issue of primary key, foreign key, and many other things is coming in. So we have a place.
And you can even password it so that nobody gain access.
Yes. Then you can easily do analysis also, like where we are going now, geometric network. You can do analysis. Oh, if one tap among this literal network, if one pipe just broke, you can easily trace it. You can easily trace it. A lot of things like that. Thank you.